they hear me playing something because I had to sneak and play it down low in my room if I'm listening to stuff like
Right.
that. I'm not going to turn it up. The stuff that I know that was clean, like LL, Rock the Bell, Of course,
Lord
I
have
try to crack
mercy.
that up.
Lord
But
have mercy.
anything else that's kind of like, you start getting into I can allow you to listen to the Easy E and all that kind of stuff. But not turn it up. Mama gonna make sure you turn that thing off. You know what I
Well, thank God for my
mean?
parents. They shielded me from all that because I do not know what their music sounds like. I know
Yeah.
that sounds crazy. It's so weird growing up. We were allowed to watch the Soul Train Awards,
Yeah.
occasionally. The Stellar Awards and the Gospel Celebration, the Grammys and stuff, and that's how we knew what music was out. But other than that, if it wasn't Christian based, you ain't listen to that at my house. And so I learned very early on that music just did not tickle my ears. And so I was like more of a Toby Mac, DC Talk,
Yeah.
the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, Eddie James. That was the music I was listening to. And I started from there. Kurt Franklin. That's the music that I listened to. I didn't know anything else. And like I said, the only reason why we knew is because of those type of award shows.
Right.
But as far as listening outside of that, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I wouldn't even if there was a game that we had to play. I don't get me on your team if it's talking about what lyrics and who was what when it comes to that, because I wouldn't know.
I think what made it for me, at least for me, I can speak on my behalf, that made me got so deep involved in all aspects of genres of music is because, where I lived at and where I lived at, I didn't, the demographics and stuff, it was kind of limited on doing a lot of stuff. So that may be, what do you turn to if you're not having a whole lot of friends to hang out with, or I'll be able to drive and go several places to occupy your time.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I had left was my family and my radio. I'm sorry, my music. Because TV was okay too. Don't get me wrong. I had my share of TV too, but radio was really captivating me with all different types of music. And then I think, get me wrong, not just R&B. I tapped into some of everything, alternative rock. I listen to all of it, and so that's why I think why today, when it comes to Christian music, I love it so because all that music I can relate to. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And but foremost, the one was heavy hitter for me. That's why I thank God for God Christian CHH and Christian R&P, because it's basically the same thing. It's just you doing it on a godly aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it don't matter the song, like the R&B side. The Christian R&P, it can be fast, beat, slow, still the same concept, but that you singing to the God instead of singing to he or she that you admire.
Well, I think what has happened with the Christian hip hop world is they have decided to take a stand and say no longer will we allow secular music define who we are. So we're going to bring it back to Christ.
Right.
I always see that because the originator of music is God.
God.
So
yes.
I always, when stuff like that happens, I always say, you know what? Nah, they just took a stand and said we're going to bring it back to Christ. So there is all types of all Christian based music across the world. There's not an excuse. To be honest, when people say, well, there's nothing out there for me to listen to, I'm like, that's an excuse. And so what you have to do is search it. Just like you search those secular artists, search the Christian based artists.
And that's pretty much what I did. I was like, okay, I liked that. And believe it or not, I think that fights against the temptation of feeling like having to go back to secular. And people really open their minds up. I think a lot of people won't dibble-dabble into still listen to the old school music or listen to what going on now, like with Cardi B, whoever. They look into, hey, on our side, look, we got some artists too, is just as good. And they're doing it for the
First of all, I don't know who a Cardi B is.
I don't know. I'm just saying because that's what I heard.
You didn't blow it out something.
Well, that's what I heard. I don't know. I don't know her. I don't
know who a Cardi B is.
But I'm saying as of right now.
Ooh, I'm telling Mom.
No, I don't.
You watching Cardi B?
No, I watching Cardi B. I'm just saying that's what I heard. Word. You being around here, people that are not saved talk about man.
Well, he gets to get out more than we do.
Right. I'm very social. And I'll be in
a social. That has nothing to be about social. He just go to work. Social. I am too.
Yeah.
He just came for me, y'all.
Right. I'm gonna crack jokes on her after we.
No, he ain't gonna crack no jokes on me. What it is, he goes to work and he's around the environment. Is just, I thank God for my environment because I get to choose where I want to be at. Unfortunately for him, because he is the man of the house, the breadwinner, the job that he has to go into an environment where he has to deal with all types of people. Me, on the other hand, I get to choose when I want to deal with, people or not. So I thank God for that. But anywho, all I want to do is, yes, I did. All I want y'all to know.
Crystal 1, Thomas 0.
All I wanted everybody to know is diversity is really important in the body of Christ. And so speaking about that, we have this amazing, wonderful man of God.
Yeah.
The first time I heard his music have to be with somebody we admire, Sandino, Christian hip hop artist. He has a label and he has a lot of artists under him now.
Yes, he do.
And so this is one of his artists and one of his dear friends. And this amazing guy, I heard him on Facebook Live. They were doing a live video of, I think they were at a church, his church, I think. And he sung. I said, what the world? Who is that? And so, his vocals were very crisp, very pure. It kind of reminded me, I hate to label him. It's like a mixture between... No, I'm not going to label him because I think he's got a distinctive sound.
I'm about to say.
I haven't found it. Maybe if I listen to his song over and over and over, I might be able to... I probably won't. But his name is J.Cook.
Yes.
J.Cook. And he is a wonderful, passionate person. First of all, he has a beautiful family.
Right.
He was born in December 1984. So that would make him about 30.
Like I said, he's probably about. I know at least he's probably about 34 right now, but probably going on 35. I think.
Wow. And praise God. I can't remember. Man, focus.
I had to think a little bit too.
So. I can't remember when I was 35. But anywho, yes, I can. I was. Yes, I cannot remember now. But anyways, that's irrelevant to what we're talking about. He's been in church all his life. He's been singing all of his life at a very young age. This is the amazing thing with diversity. It does not discriminate.
Right.
You know how I said that earlier that I've been in church all my life, quote unquote. Well, this young man has too. And he is definitely. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody was trying to call in while I'm looking at my phone, but I'm sorry. Okay, but yeah, he is.
You were saying that we were talking about diversity.
Yes, very diverse. He's been singing in several competitions throughout elementary, middle school, and high school, and I can remember that. When I seen that, I was like, oh my gosh. I remember singing the national anthem. I remember doing the musicals. I remember doing, there was times where the school would actually have me and my sisters sing the national anthem before they start a program. Strategically, and that's why I said favor has been on him at an early age. And at the age of 22, he joined the United States Air Force. And eventually... that's why I mentioned the national anthem. That's why I comment on that. I believe that one. Really? and eventually became the primary national anthem singer at the Air Force Base in Virginia. Now, this is my husband's area, so if I am not talking that much during the interviews, because I think he's got questions of military.
The thing about with that, when you say about the Air Force. Remember, I was in the Army too, and I had to sing the national anthem too.
You never told me that.
Remember, you went to it.
Did I?
Yeah, I would have my Class A's on, and me and this other girl, we had a tryout for it, and we had to end up singing together with it, in the military.
I don't remember that.
Yes, the Star Spangled Banner, and you came. I remember we had me, you had Ben and Erica,
right,
and you came.
I don't remember that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Listen, I probably remember after we get off the air. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I just been around a lot of music all my life, so eventually it just starts running in together. And like I said, I probably remember after we get off the line.
She will.
But he's also, according to the bio that we're reading, and correct me if I'm wrong, he has also been overseas at war.
Yes, I have. Am
I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And some of the places he's been is where? Bargram?
Bargram, and that's why I was. Remember, that's the last place I was at. Bargram.
Yeah.
Bargram. That's in Iraq.
Listen, these words.
Is it Manus?
No, it's Qatar.
Qatar. Yeah, I've been there too. Remember on R&R. I couldn't come home, but they put my passport down there. It's Air Force Base too.
Yeah, he's been in Afghanistan.
Yeah, of course I've been there.
He's been overseas. Listen, he's been over a few. It looks to me, and this is a good question. How many times has he been overseas?
Yeah, it's
because he's listed
quite a bit. Huh?
Yeah, in 2014, he began working on his first solo album, and it was entitled Triumph Over Trial, Hope Through the Hurt. He released 2 singles from that project, and Nothing Compares in 2015, and The Desert in 2016. After the underwhelming results, usually they'd be like overwhelming, but he says underwhelming. He results on his first project. He went and just focused on family, and until the late 2018. After 2 years, that's when he came out. Well, he began writing, and then he came out with one of my favorite songs, Christ-Like, and it launched in January of 2019. I absolutely love that song.
Yeah.
He reached out to us a while ago. Actually, his Sandino gave us his music, and we put it in, and I was like, I love it. And maybe I'm biased in some way because that is my profile name for Facebook and stuff. And I just love the meaning behind it and everything else. And we're going to definitely get him to talk about it.
Yeah,
I'm excited about his journey. I have several questions about the music. When he said, normally artists say overwhelming as response, but he said underwhelming. So that just lets you know, listeners, that even as artists and when we deliver something or push out something, sometimes the season might be wrong. Right. And that's the results of it.
Right.
What are you laughing about?
No, this was fine. This is the look that you had on your face. This is funny.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes, I can give you a prime example. Our first help, I lie to you not, our first help did not get a lot of feedback.
That was true.
And we were a little discouraged and stuff, but we still did what we had to do. That was
right.
That was like 5 years later.
Yeah, it's amazing how that happened.
5 years later, and then our EP came out, and it was a lot of people liked the music and stuff.
Right.
But I lie to you not, in 2019, which this is this year, starting in January 2019, for some reason, somebody across the world pulled that song onto their playlist for their radio station.
Right.
And since then, I lie to you not, a promise that was given to us a long time ago, 7 years ago, God is strategically doing it.
Right.
Our hands are not nowhere involved in it.
Nothing.
And now we are at number 109. I just found out last night in the European charts.
Right. This is BDS.
109 in the year. I just found out last night, and I didn't tell my husband about this last night, but we're
wow,
109.
Wow.
Yes,
it's steady climbing.
It's steady climbing, and it's just the grace of God that is doing that. We don't have our hands in it at all. We actually forgot about the song. I've been too busy trying to promote the other CD. And even with that, it's like, okay, Lord, it's been over 2 years. Maybe I should leave that one alone too.
Right.
So God is a God of timing. And when God says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. What we need to do is relinquish our hands and say, okay, Lord, do what you need to do.
Right.
And it's a God moment when all of a sudden it just comes out of the blue.
That's true.
And I wanted to emphasize that and to encourage whoever's listening, and even for Mr. J.Cook, to know that your labor is not in vain.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You just got to, it's unfortunate, timing is really important when we distribute and release what God has placed in us to release.
Right.
So I'm really I'm really going to definitely try to ask them a few questions about that, because we always want to encourage our artists, but kingdom builders across the world, when God is telling them to do something, don't get discouraged, which he did not, because he came up with another one and everything else. And I'm so excited about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I even thought about trying to use it for our intro to Life Talk Radio show. And so hopefully, we'll be able to start up something and get some paperwork done so we can have that at the beginning of our show every time you listen to it, because this is an amazing song. But we're going to go, when we come back, we're going to be talking to